scrappy friends, welcome to the Clique YouTube channel. This is Hannah with you today, and I am making a Cut File Friday video for you today, but first I'm going to do some mixed media. I am using that mood board that you seen just a second ago, and I'm going to basically be using the top photo as my main inspiration, but I also just kind of picked up some other elements from it, like the bright colors, but it had this really cool image that had like a background that had these different colors all together, and I decided to just use a really thin washi tape, so there is going to be a little bit of white in between, but I'm okay with that they're not all touching, and then I don't end up mixing the paint in the other colors. So I'm also using some Acri-tonez from shimmers. There are some in the store. Last month they were an add-on, so I'll make sure I put it in the link below, as well as many of the other add-ons that I am using, and the kit link so that you can see what is in the kit, because I'm using the May Sherbert kit, and this is a super fun kit. I'm really liking it. It's really whimsical. And it's the Pink Fresh Studio Dream On collection. This is some gold. This month we are going to be trying to focus on using lots of gold, so I made sure that I did one square, or it's not really a square, it's like a rectangle, but one of the blocks as gold, and it did not want to come out of this paintbrush. And here's another Acri-tonez color. So I used 3 different Acri-tonez colors. So there's the jade color, that pink, and then the yellow. And I did get a little bit of that pink in the yellow. It splotched. But it dries really, really quick. I will say this Acri-tonez, it dries super quick, and you don't really need a lot for it to be really, really bright. It's really fun, but it definitely, because it has the primer in it, is a lot different than using like acrylic paint on a layout, which I am really used to using. So it is a little bit of a different texture, and as it starts drying, it doesn't paint as well. So it definitely is one of those things that you want to use really quick. So here is after it dried. I had to let it dry for a little while, and I did, with that tissue paper, use multi-matte media to help it stick on there, so it does have like that gluey feel a little bit. So anything that I add onto that will definitely have to have extra glue. So here is where my cut file comes into play. Now that I spent 3 minutes making the background. Actually took more than 3 minutes, but it didn't take too long. It was only like 15 minutes maybe to do it, and the longest part was just waiting for it to dry, because that big tealy color, that almost sea green glass color, that one definitely had to dry. But even that, I don't think that acrylic paint dries too slow. So I am putting this on pop dots, and I have 2 sections. So I have one that's 4 and one that's 3. And I decided to use that paper that is called Trance, I think, and it has all the little different images of like house stuff. So I am going to take this whole thing and cut a little bit off the edges so that I can have a white border, just because it is very, very crazy and warped because of that big section of acrylic paint. Whenever you use acrylic paint or any kind of mixed media, there's a really good chance that it will warp. I found that just as it sits in the album in a protector with the stuff all on it, with other layouts against it, it really does help get it back to a reasonable shape, as far as like it doesn't warp too bad. It's not too bad in the album. I've not really had a problem with any of the layouts that I've done a lot of mixed media on them like this. So, but if you're someone who doesn't like that, I would definitely suggest maybe taking blocks of paper, patterns that have colors that are similar that you would like to use, and just, you could always do something like that with this. Or you could even, I mean, you could cut them in your silhouette too, you know, as well. Or you could cut them on hand. So you definitely don't have to use this as paint, but I just like the I've just been really liking playing with paint lately. I just can't help it. But yeah, so all these cut files are the exclusive cut files, and they're these cute houses, and it all comes together. So I cut some of the houses apart. And I debated about whether to use just plain white ones, but I really wanted that black and white element and just something for a little bit of interest. So there's my photo. And it's a picture of my 3 children, and they're so super cute and amazing and really crazy all at the same time. Isn't that everyone's kids though? um, and this picture is going to be staying black and white. I thought that that would be really nice since I have all this crazy color, and the Pink Fresh Studio collection also has quite a bit of color in it as well. So I'm keeping it black and white just to keep it toned. But I really liked this theme of home, and so I actually kind of thought about the title before I had decided to make this layout. And so the title is Home is Where My Heart Is, and heart I'm going to use in those gold thickers. And with that gold panel, it really helps to work. Now, the gold is not quite the same gold because those stickers are super, super shiny, and the paint is not as shiny. I mean, it is pretty gold, but it's not quite the same, but that's okay for me. So, you know, and I really like having just the heart be the big focus with just that. And then I just used some leftover Ellie Studio alphas from last month that I had. I really like that white on the pink. It just really helps it pop out, and it just kind of, it really makes everything stand out. Like with all that mixed media, you really have to try to pick elements that are going to pop off your page and kind of stand out, because if you have a lot of mixed media, either you have to tone down your mixed media, something like Missy Winton does, and she tones it down sometimes by using extra gesso, or she uses really soft colors a lot of times, or a lot of colors in the same color palettes, you know, like really similar colors, and that will help, you know, bring everything together. But also, if you're going to use really bold colors like these, using a lot of neutrals helps those elements stand out from all that color, because you have a lot of color. So I am looking to see what our printables are for the month, and we're lucky because we are putting out a new traveler's notebook kit as well. So I'll make sure I have the link below that where you can find out information about that. And so there are extra printables for that kit along with just the main kit. So that is one of the really cool and fun things about Clique kits, is that they have a lot of really cool printables that you can print off at home and add to your kit. And this month they are super, super cute. Miriam on the design team, she helped design some of them, and they really, really match really well with the kit. I really like it. She has a lot of labels and some other little things that just make it really fun. So as you can see, I just layered a couple of them on the side of my photo, and there really isn't that much color on them, but I kind of like that. And then so here I'm going to layer a few pieces of paper behind that photo. And like I said, I chose this photo because this kit has a really homey feel, and I really decided, well, not decided, but you know, as a mom, your kids tend to be your life, just at least in this moment of my life. I mean, I'm lucky being a scrapbooker. I get to also be a scrapbooker and not just a mom all the time, but definitely my main job and focus is being a mom, and these kids are my home, and my husband too, obviously. But you know, it's like being in a military family. We move from place to place, and we tend to have different friends at different periods in our life, and so we're not really in the same place for very often, and our family isn't always there, and so we have become our own home. And I really wanted to make a layout that just kind of embodied that, maybe not in so many words but in funness. And this kit really helped do that, because it's all about home. It's all about fun and happiness and stuff. And you know, my kids and my husband make me happy, and they are my home. So, and I carry them wherever I go. So on with all this happy stuff. So now I'm just layering some other stuff. I picked that camera die cut. I really like having a little bit of extra colors that are off to the side. Man, I really like those camera, or that speech bubble with the camera off on the side like that. So I kind of debated how to put the stuff on that black and white tissue paper, just because I knew I needed something else there, and I just wasn't really sure how I wanted to do it. And I knew I wanted to layer a few pieces because I don't want this to be super boring. And I want those houses to stand out too, but I really want to use those houses to just add something. So I do layer quite a bit of stuff on the bottom houses and just leave the top ones, that top grouping, just I left them just as it is. So I'm using some of this washi tape that is from Pretty Little Studios, that is designed by Xania, in the collection that she made over there. And it's a really, really fun color. It matches that camera a lot. But it's not going to end up staying on the bottom part. I end up taking it because I didn't think it looked that great in real life. It doesn't look too bad here. It definitely gives that shelf, which is what I was wanting, but I don't know. So I kind of play around with how I was going to do things, and I thought I was going to put the speech bubble there. I kind of liked it there. It really gives something really dark, because that black and white is very much the neutral, and then the other box is it has houses and stuff on it, and that one is also from one of the printables. But then I decided to add it to the bottom of my picture, and I'm looking for a couple of other things to just kind of layer, but they just were just not, I wasn't feeling it. So I'm going to add some of these puffy hearts, but I choose a different size. So, and down at the bottom where I have that bottom set of houses, I'm also going to be putting that happy, but I don't do that till later. Just because later on I look at it and I'm like, you know, that really could use something else. Double guessing myself. And now also with this, I'm not going to do a whole lot of journaling, because I kind of feel like the title says a lot, and I don't know, I just didn't feel like I needed to do too much journaling. So I don't really do a whole lot. I just add a little bit to that little tag there that I just put in. That was a printable where that puffy heart is. And I am just about done. So guys, I hope you go over to the blog and check out what all the other designers are creating this month. For May, we are using this really, really fun kit, and in like a couple of weeks it's going to be coming out, guys, so you'll be able to get your hands on it. So make sure you get to the store and you pick out your add-ons, because there's a ton of fun stuff in the store to add on to use, and I'll be using some of that later this month. I purchased a few things. Also, And I can't wait to share the rest of the stuff that I'm making this month. And I hope you guys are super excited. Make sure you tag and link us so that we can see what you guys are designing. And make sure you sign up for the pep rally that happens in the middle of the month. So I will see you guys later, and I hope you guys have a great week. Bye!